Hey y'all, and welcome back to Great Reviews They All. Today I'm going to be reviewing Pretty Little Liars episode 7, Carnival of Souls. So I do have two more episodes to watch, which is going to be leading into the season finale. So there's episode 8 and 9 that's up. So I will get to those as quickly as I can. So just going to start off. So I had to put the notes on my phone because I did not have my handy dandy notepad with me. So let's see. So it starts off with Elodie, which is Minnie's mom. She gets a letter. Is it Minnie or is it? I do this every time, y'all. Minnie. Minnie's mom. She gets a letter to come to the Hall of Mirrors at the carnival. Okay. And I'm sorry about the background noise. They are emptying the trash cans at my place. So that's all the background noise that you're probably going to hear. So she gets a letter to meet at the Hall of Mirrors at the carnival. Now, come to find out, we get the flashback, and it was Elodie, and they call her Dee. But it was her and Angela. They were at the carnival in the Hall of Mirrors, and she was just kind of, talking to Angela, and she actually came on to her and kissed her. And so Angela's just like kind of almost like frozen, but I believe it was who was it? Imogen's mom. Imogen's mom. She comes out and she sees them, and then Elodie tried to play it off as if Angela tried to come on to her, and and they just pretty much just did her like that and left her in there. So we come back to current time, and Farron's mom, she's okay. She's in the hospital. To be honest with y'all, I'm kind of questioning Farron's mom because as strong-minded and strong-willed as she is, she also is very smart enough to where she likes to play a role for sympathy, kind of, sort of. So I'm kind of questioning if this whole accident or anything was actually something that was an accident, or you did that so that you could try to kind of wiggle your way back into the good graces of the dad and Farron because you were injured. But yeah, but I'll come back to that on another video. But all in all, Farron's mom's okay. So she's home. She's in a wheelchair, um, but she's giving Farron the cold shoulder, and I'm just like, Farron, it should be highly pissed at you. Like, you literally, against the doctor's wishes, you literally basically they said that at that time it wasn't necessary for her. You basically had her to have this whole procedure on her back. But we'll get more into that. But anyway, she pretty much blames her having that accident on Farron because of what Farron did with the picture and what she said, basically letting everybody know what her mom did. So that pretty much, just kind of sent her off into where she was just distraught, and she got into a whole car accident. Well, you probably shouldn't have took off driving if you were that distraught. Just saying. Anyway, now let's see. Imogen, she finally gets the opportunity to update the girls about Rose. Um, and then, so they're just all basically letting it all out, like telling each other everything, which they should have done this from the beginning. I'm just like, I can't even believe it took y'all this long to tell each other these things. Noah, she even tells the ladies about Sheriff Beasley, what his extracurricular activities are. And the girls were just kind of like, ooh. I mean, they're basically questioning if Sheriff Beasley could be A, but of course, he would have to be sick in the head to pretty much take his own daughter's life. So then they said that it could possibly be Wes, which, to be honest with you, Wes, he's on my list of people that I think could be A. And then there's the idea of Angela's father. We don't know where Angela's father is. They have not showed him at all. There's been no talks of him until this episode. Where is her dad? And maybe he could be the one doing this to get revenge for his daughter. Now, we get an update that Kelly actually, she was so spooked that she withdrew from dance class completely. Um, and then so Farron, she goes to go talk to her, and Farron's just like, just trying to talk to her and just, check in on her, and she's just like, oh, I can't believe you guys, you actually sent whoever Kelly thinks it is. She's like, you sent someone to come to spook me so that you could get the part and all of this stuff. And Farron's just like, huh, wait, what? I mean, what did you say? No, who's chasing you? So all in all, Farron is gathering like, oh my gosh, like A tried to do something to Kelly because of what we have been thinking, that Karen is actually Kelly. Um, so at this point, Kelly thinks Farron had something to do with it. So Farron goes back. She tells the girls, and they're just like in a whole, just all over the place at this point. So at they're all thinking about everything that's going on, talking about the carnival that's coming up and why they were not gonna go. But true fashion, every single one of them, they do eventually find a reason to go to the carnival. Um, and let's see. So Chip, Chip, we actually get a scene, y'all. We get a scene where they're in class. So Imogen is in class. I can't think of the type of class this would be off the top of my head, but they were doing a project where they would be doing like a family type of thing with a fake baby and everything. So Chip actually asked Imogen if she would like to team up with him on that project, and Imogen accepts. Um, so we're gonna hold that thought on that. Now, Minnie gets invited to the carnival to go on a date, as a date to the carnival. So she's feeling some like this about it because of her history with the carnival. Her moms, they have not been allowing her to go to the carnival. They don't even go to it for years, ever since the incident happened, which I'm about to mention that in a second. So that kept her from ever going to the carnival. And now this year, she's like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of living like this. I'm going. I have a date. We're going. So she finally says that at the carnival, a stranger tried to take her. She was waiting on her mom's. So the stranger tried to take her, and right as the stranger was walking with her hand, we get a vision of that, a clip of that. Her moms come out and scream her name, and then the stranger drops her hand and runs off. So now we know, kind of what happened a little bit with Minnie's past. So let's see. Now we have Farron. She's practicing, and they were doing like a certain move, and then her back all of a sudden just a shoot of pain. And so, of course, he starts to ask, I can't think of his name right now, I'm terrible, but he starts to ask more questions about, like her back pain, what is that like? What does that feel like? And come to find out that she's saying that she's been dealing with that back pain for 8 years, chronic back pain for 8 years. Starting from when she had the surgery that her mom had her to deal with. But she says she just works through the pain. She gets cortisone shots. Like she has like a process for dealing with it. So giving her a massage and everything, and she's just, just like, just stop, and just leaves it at that. Now, jumping back in with Minnie, she is still getting messages from Steve. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, so what is she going to end up doing to get this man to leave her alone? Because at this point, you're stalking. Like she said, we have an agreement. This is the way it's supposed to go. At a certain point, you have to leave me alone and go about your business. Now we go on to Imogen. She was at school, had the baby. She goes to, like, it must have been like an assistant in the front office. She was like, hey, can you watch my baby while I go use the restroom? And the whole lady's on the phone the whole time. She's like, yeah, okay, cool, that's fine. Now, Imogen, she comes back, and the baby is no longer there, but the assistant is still there talking on the phone, and she's just like, hey, where's the baby? She's like, well, I didn't see anything. And I'm just like, ma'am. So that whole time you're sitting there at that desk, you didn't realize that someone came through there and removed that baby from right in front of you. You couldn't have been on that phone that hard. But I mean, at this point, Imogen starts freaking out because in her mind, she's already pregnant. She's going through a lot with that mentally. And then she has this fake baby, and she's, that messes with your mind. I could only imagine what that felt like. So she's freaking out, and then she runs into Chip and tells him, like, the baby's gone, and he's just like, just calm down, just wait until it's quiet. We're gonna find her. And they wait till everybody goes on about their business, goes to class, and you could hear the baby crying. They find the baby in like the janitor's closet. And then he's like, yeah, see, here's the baby. It was just probably somebody playing a joke, they're pranking you. And so as she's doing that, she looks and she sees that A put a letter on the baby saying that she is a bad mother. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. As if she doesn't have enough going on. I mean, y'all leave the girl alone. Jeez Louise. At this point, she asked Chip, like, hey, could you do me a huge favor? Could you please take me to go to an adoption agency after school? And he agrees. Now, Henry, I got it. Henry, that is basically Farron's boyfriend at this point. He went and he told the dance teacher about her chronic back pain that she's been dealing with. And unfortunately, it ended up in the long run, it could be good for her. So the dance teacher pulls Farron into her office, talks to her, and lets her know, yes, he did come and tell me. And she's just like, at this point, I want you to go and see this doctor that I send all my dancers to, and just see what he says. So I'll get to that part in a second. So now we flip over and we have Tabby it frustrates me so bad to the point, like, I'm just like, what, I could scream at the TV. I don't understand why the girls, they keep going off on their own. It drives me crazy when I see those scenes. So Tabby, she decides she wants to go and take a stroll in the woods, in the area where the bonfire happened. She goes, it's not cleaned up. They left it exactly like it was, small town. So I guess that's, the sort of things that you will find in small towns, little areas like that, the kids, the teenagers. Hey, what else is there to do? But they literally left it just the same. She literally kind of goes out for a second, and she just has a whole moment where all of a sudden A pops up out of nowhere and tries to take her out. But then she comes back to, and it didn't really happen in real life. Right. Here they go playing with us again, right? Because in the clip, you would have thought, in the preview, you would have thought that Tabby was out of there. But yeah, she had just spaced out. Now, at this point, she decides that she wants to go to the police station. Her and Imogen, they did talk about everything, and maybe Imogen suggested, hey, go talk to the lady cop. You don't have to talk to Sheriff Beasley. Go to the lady cop. I'm sure she's really nice. She'll listen. She goes to the station to wait for the lady cop because she wasn't available when she got there. Now, of course, here comes Sheriff Beasley, old nosy self, coming in, and he's just like, hey, trying to find out why she's there. Then, in the meantime, he's like, I need you to come to my office real quick. I need to ask you a few questions, which, again, I do not understand, regardless of this being a small town, whatever. How are they able to keep asking these children? They are teenagers in high school. They are underage. How are y'all able to still be asking these girls, these young ladies, questions that could possibly put them in some type of legal trouble without any type of parental or any type of parents involved? Like, they're not present, or like, nobody's present. So how are y'all? That's not legal. You cannot do that. But you're questioning her. He's questioning her, and to be honest with y'all, I forgot about Tyler until Sheriff Beasley said his name, and I was just like, oh yeah. A got rid of Tyler, and yeah, so they don't know where he is. And so asking her, and of course he knows about the fight that happened at the party, the Halloween party, and Tabby punched him. After that, he went off. No one has seen him since then. So she's just like, what the heck? Like, I don't know what to tell you anything more about this. And she left. And she didn't even get to talk to the lady cop at that point. She just left. So now we have Imogen and Chip. They stopped to get food. They did go visit the adoption agency. He stepped in as just kind of like a comfort at the adoption agency and pretended as if he was the dad, just to make her feel a little bit better. And she was just, like, thank you for that, pretty much. And he's like, yeah, you like to go get food? So they go sit down at the same, little eatery. I think it's the pizza place. And they were just chilling, having a good time talking. And I'm just like, you could tell that Em just is like a normal moment. Like, thank you. I see a little chemistry happening between the two of them, which will be interesting because we know that Chip has a huge, huge crush on Tabby. We know Tabby is not seeing it for him like that. Um, so let's see. So we get the update from Farron. She was told by the doctor that she needed to start wearing a brace immediately. She needed to do physical therapy 3 times a week, and she needed to stop dancing for 6 months, which we know for Farron that is just like a life sentence for her. It's like what she is pissed, okay? And that made her even more mad with her mom because she's just like, dude, like, you even understand what you have done to me? And now I'm having to pay for this and take the time away from dancing to go back to correct the issues and to try to get better so that my back is not doing what it's doing, especially for her to want to be a dancer in the future. So that was that. Now, Noah, it was suggested to her to work with a physical trainer to kind of help her get up to speed with her track. Now we get the scene where she's working out. She stops and he's basically like, yeah, it's your cardio, whatever he said to her, and he wants to give her an inhaler. I was like, ooh, red flag, because she was just like, she already has enough going on with drugs and things like that, especially related to sports. Her mom, stuff like that. So she's just very like questioning even using this inhaler. Like, is that gonna make me? Is that gonna be a negative impact on me? And I'm just now trying to get back on the right foot, even though we know she wasn't actually doing drugs to begin with. So she's just really nervous about that. I could tell when she took it from him. Now, update on me. She looked up Steve and found out where he works. Shows up at his job, and she's just like, yeah, you might want to come talk to me. And then she's like literally threatening him, like, if you keep on messing with me, I'm gonna tell your friends, I'm gonna tell your coworkers what you do, and all of this. And then all of a sudden, he lays out some information that we did not know. He has met her mom several times, Miss Elodie, at a meeting. This whole meeting or book club that she says she goes to on every Tuesday. She's actually been going to these meetings for parents who have lost their children. Okay, and that is how Steve knows who her mother is. Which at that point, it kind of just takes her on a whole detective journey of her own, pertaining to her mom having secrets for what happened to her as a child, her parents, who her father is, all of that. It takes her on a whole journey. So, and then she also gets a text from A saying that the man that tried to take her wasn't a stranger. So like I said, this takes her on her own little detective thing. So she, of course, she's mad. She's getting more bold when it comes to her mom when she wants to go and go do things. And she's just like, I'm going to the carnival with Ash. And she's like, well, what about our trip? She's like, I'm going to the carnival. Now, the whole carnival happens. No, it doesn't happen just yet. But Imogen was talking to Tabby about Chip, pretty much just wanting to make sure, hey, is it all good? Is it clear? You good? Do you like him? Can I talk to him? Is it going to be weird? And Tabby's just like, girl, no. Like, please, go ahead. I'm good. We good. So we know from Tabby, like, for real, from what she's showing us, she's not interested in Chip like that at all. So it is what it is. So, I mean, pretty much we know Imogen is actually crushing on Chip, which is actually pretty cute. So we're gonna see what happens with those two. Now let's see. Tabby, she was actually going to go talk to the school nurse because she wanted to confide in the nurse about what happened to her in the woods at that bonfire that night, the little party. As she was there, she starts to look around and she noticed that there's a blood drop going on. And she inquires about it. And then she, just with her inquiring about it, I'm just like, okay, Tabby, what's on your mind? What you got planned? What you trying to do? Which we will get more about that. But she has something up her sleeve with this blood drive. Now, Carnival is happening. It's taking place. All right, setting the scene. Minnie, she is there with Ash. They're having a good time. As they're walking, she blurts out that Ash is her boyfriend, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And Minnie, you girl, she jumped out there with that one. Thank goodness that he was receptive to it, and he was just like, yeah, I like, pretty much like, yeah, I like that, and I would be happy to be your boyfriend. So it's safe to say that Minnie officially has a boyfriend. Okay. Now we have Imogen and Chip. They're hanging out. They're having a good old time. Like I said, it's good to see Imogen have a normal teenager moment, a happy moment. And they kiss. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. When I say that Chip is such a nerdy nerd, he really is. But to be honest with y'all, I mean, he might not be A, but I feel like he has something. It's something about Chip. I don't know. That's just me. I mean, y'all let me know what y'all think about Chip. I think he should be on the list. I don't think there's just one A. There are multiple people doing things. Okay. Now, so they pretty much admit to each other, that they do like each other. So we can expect to see more blossom between Imogen and Chip. I hope so. Positive vibes. Positive vibes. Now, we have the jocks from Rosewood. They show up. So here we go, getting a little sprinkle of Pretty Little Liars in Rosewood. So we have the Rosewood jocks. They come through. They come in to pretty much just kind of start some drama. And of course the Millwood jocks, they get all and so now they're about to go head to head. And let me see. So Noah, she sees another side of her boyfriend. I forget his name. She sees another side of him that she's not used to seeing. She's just like, for real, like, we not doing this. And I mean, Noah basically threatened the Rosewood jocks and was just like, I have the sheriff on speed dial, honey. And mind you, the sheriff and his wife and Kelly are there, and he's like still in an ugly bitter mode. Can we make a mention that Kelly's mom, Miss Beasley, she has a whole new attitude on her. I'm just saying. Keep an eye out for that too. Now, Elodie, she gets another message. Her and her wife, they are at home, just chilling with each other while Minnie is at the carnival. Elodie gets a text from A, and it's basically threatening Minnie. So she takes off against the other mother's will to, hey, leave her alone. But see, the thing is, she doesn't know about the text messages that Elodie's been getting, so she doesn't get it. Clearly, she's keeping secrets from her too. So, Minnie, of course, she decides that she wants to go into the Hall of Mirrors. Why? Again, y'all know that A is out here. Why are y'all out here just doing whatever, as if there's not a psychopath out here doing stuff, getting y'all into trouble? Y'all. Now, they're walking around, they're kikiing, having a good old time, and then, of course, Minnie sees who? A. A is in there with them. When I say that was the scariest scene, oh my goodness, because imagine being stuck in a maze or a hall of mirrors at a carnival. It's loud, no one can hear you screaming. It's dark, you're running around, you don't know where to go. A was chasing them, and Ash, I feel like he didn't know what he was seeing, but he had to have seen something at some point. But Minnie was seeing it like this. She found that emergency exit, and baby, she zipped him right on up out of there. She was dragging Ash like nobody's business. She said, "Not my boyfriend. We just confirmed that we boyfriend and girlfriend, and you ain't gonna take him from me." No, I don't think so. But they got out of there. As she's running out, she runs into her mom, and her mom is freaking out. And so all of a sudden, she's ready to tell, she's ready to tell me the truth. Okay, well, a part of the truth, because we know that they like to still keep stuff from each other. Now, she confirms that the man that tried to take Minnie when she was a little kid at the carnival was actually her father. So there was the mention of her being a surrogate. So the way that I'm comprehending this is that Elodie, she was getting paid for money to be the surrogate to whoever the father was, and she decided to keep the baby um, for herself. And so there's that. Now, come to find out, y'all, Minnie, she knows she's good with tech. She had a burner phone, and she tells her mom, "I'm the one who sent you the text message." So the last text message that she got, it was actually from Minnie. And she used that tactic to get information out of her mom. Um, and let's see, so then they move on. We have Imogen. She is talking to Tabby. Imogen shares about her night with Chip, and just so beautiful. That was, like, again, really nice to see from her. Then Tabby says that she is actually ready to tell the girls what happened to her, so that they can all, try to work together to figure this thing out, because there is something bigger going on when it comes in relation to Angela. Um, so Minnie, she tells the girls about A chasing her, um, which of course they're just like freaking out again. But I'm like, and yet y'all still keep doing little things that would basically get y'all into situations like Minnie. I'm just saying. Now her mom, Minnie's mothers, they did end up separating because the other mom, she was just tired of all of the secretness of keeping everything kept in, of her keeping tabs on Minnie, not letting her do things to be a normal teenager. So she just was like, you're getting put out. You don't have nothing to come back to, honey. Now, the girls are at the table in the lunchroom talking about all of this, and all of them, they get a text from A. It is a photo of Tyler in a bathtub. We don't know if he actually, if I'm not mistaken, he's done for. So he's just keeping him. I don't know. So we don't know if it was actually Tyler that did something to Imogen and Tabby. So is that why A did something to Tyler? We don't know. But it's a reason. But we'll find out. So we're gonna keep watching. That was the end of this particular episode. I need to get on to episode 8 and 9, because 9 is the official season finale. I feel like it went by so quick for 9 episodes. Like, come on, y'all. But hey, it's okay. I'm really hoping that the season did pretty well enough for them to bring it back for a second season. I would be willing to watch it again and keep up with it. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode, and hit the notification bell button, and I will continue to. It pretty much, YouTube will let you know when I post something. You just got to hit that notification bell button, okay? Thank you again for watching, and you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye, y'all.